This man would rather play dead than face reality. He orchestrated his own funeral, tricking friends and family into showing up to mourn him. His plan: wait for everyone to accept his death as fact, then announce his miraculous resurrection to capture the nation's attention. David was once a red-hot celebrity, but for various reasons, he'd gradually faded into obscurity. On the day of his funeral, friends, family, and fellow actors all came to pay their respects to this former A-lister. The big screen displayed clips from his past performances, creating a heavy, somber atmosphere throughout the venue. While everyone outside was grieving, David himself was living it up. He lounged comfortably in his coffin, munching snacks while watching the live stream of his own funeral. Soon, major media outlets were reporting his untimely death. Watching all these clueless people from his hiding spot, he was absolutely thrilled. Seeing fans on social media expressing their grief and regret over his passing filled him with immense satisfaction. To celebrate his upcoming comeback, David immediately pulled out a bottle of vodka he'd stashed away and went wild with his private celebration. The funeral wrapped up smoothly, and after all the guests had left, his manager, the one person who knew about the scheme, was supposed to rush over with a shovel to dig David out of his grave. But disaster struck halfway there. The only person in on the plan got into a car accident and never made it. David never imagined his resurrection plan would turn into a live burial. His excitement quickly morphed into sheer panic. Fortunately, he'd brought along a cell phone. His first instinct was to call 911, the fastest way to get rescued. But just as the call connected, he hung up, telling the police would mean telling everyone, and his whole plan would be blown. So he immediately contacted his friends instead. But having just attended his funeral, none of them believed David was actually alive. They all thought his messages were some sick prank and started hurling insults at him. Eventually, they just blocked him entirely. The man was falling apart. How could he possibly convince people he was still alive? So he decided to call his friends directly. Surely they'd recognize his voice. But to his shock, almost everyone's first reaction was to assume he was a scammer. Nobody gave him a chance to explain. After failing countless times, David suddenly thought of the perfect person: his assistant. He placed a video call, figuring his face would definitely convince her he was real. Movi from Connect Slavey.